Welcome to the Animation Basics Lesson 1, Part 2. In this lesson, I'm going to guide you through the modeling process for this assignment so that in the next video, we are ready to start animating. So first off, let's save our file. Let's go to File, Save Scene As. And you can see that it is in the correct folder, Lesson 1, Scenes folder. You can already see the past save. And let's do L01 underscore modeling. L01 modeling. And we keep that Maya ASCII file. And click on Save As. Now, let's make sure we have the same screen. So on the top left, under File, there's this little drop-down menu. Make sure you have modeling selected. Let's go to the poly modeling shelf. And if you did not already have this up, we want the outliner up. You can click on this button right to the side to open up the outliner. And we want the channel layer box over here. So if you don't have it, just click on this and it should appear. Okay, let's start off with a sphere. In the outliner, we're going to name this. So double click on the geometry within the outliner. So double click the name and name this linear underscore sphere underscore geo. And now I want to shade this piece of geometry so that it looks nice and pretty and it's way easier to see than just this gray on gray. So we're going to go to Window, Render Editor, Hypershade. So again, that's Window, Render Editors, Hypershade. We're going to add this toon-like shader to make it really pop out. So I'm going to make this screen a bit bigger so it's easier to see. Now, when you open the Hypershade, you should get something like this. You want to go down to the Create panel. See how it says Create right there? And then search up Ramp. And you want to click on Ramp Shader. That's the top one, Ramp Shader. So click on that. You should get these nodes that appear. Make sure that the Ramp Shader 1 is selected by clicking on it. And then in the Property Editor right over here, you want to change the name. So let's double click on that and change the name to white underscore inner shader. So white underscore inner shader. And now in the color tab, you're going to click on this, make sure that it is gray, which it looks gray. And then you can click on the middle of this color to make a new color. You want to click on this top circle, go to selected color, and then let's choose white. You can either choose it from the default colors here, or you can change it, bring it to the left-hand corner of this square. Click out of it. Now it should be white. Did it not register? Oh, they're both white. This looks gray to me. Make sure that this is gray. And you want to change the interpolation to none. You want to click on both. Make sure that it's set to none. For this circle right here, the left circle, you want to make sure the selected position is set to 0. And on the middle, you want to make sure it's 0.5. And finally, let's change the lighting, the color input to brightness. So see in this little sample, there's this like nice toon-like shade. Now let's duplicate this. So click, shift, drag to do this selection box to select both the white inner shader and the ramp shader. Command D on your keyboard to duplicate. And then just click and drag to organize this little box. Now, if this is too small, you should be able to go to this line over here and adjust what you see. So that should help. Now, this white inner shader 1, let's connect it to the ramp shader. So with this red dot next to out color, you want to click, hold, and drag it over to surface shader. Now these two are connected. You want to make sure that the white inner shader 1 is selected. You want to go to it in the property editor, change white to red, and you want to change inner to outer, and you can delete the 1. So red outer shader. And over here in the color, let's change that dark gray to a dark red by clicking on red. And then over here, you can change dark to light. So let's make it a little bit darker. And then on the white color, you can change it just to a normal red. So now we have this nice kind of like toon, another toon shader. I'm going to exit out of the Hypershader, and let's see how it looks on the ball. So click on the ball, right click, drag your mouse down, don't let go yet, go to Assign Existing Material. You want to hover over Red Outer Shader and then let go of your mouse. It should automatically turn this to red. Now if this doesn't appear, let me know, but it should appear. Make sure textures are turned on. So again, if it doesn't appear, please let me know. Now let's add that white shader. So right click, you want to go into face mode and kind of eyeball it. This looks like the middle line of the ball. You can rotate it around to get a better view. So click, hold down shift, to the left, double click. Okay, go down 1, to the right, click, to the left, double click. And now I'm selecting the middle of the ball. Right click, hold, scroll down, assign existing material. You want to choose that white inner shader. So now you get this nice effect on the ball. To exit face mode, you want to right click and then go back to object mode. So right click, drag. Once object mode is highlighted, you want to let go. So now you can just select the ball normally. So there we go. Look at that. Okay. Next, we want to go up to the shelf again. Go to Curves and Surfaces. Curves and Surfaces. You want to click on this nurbsCircles circle. We're going to click on it twice. So see how it appeared here? So we got 1, and let's do 2. The first one, let's double click to rename linear underscore main underscore CTRL. That's short for control. So main control. Now nurbsCircle 2, you want to double click, linear underscore, and let's name this to ghost underscore CTRL control. This will be useful in the animation section. This will help us see all the ghost or onion skinning of our animation. You always want to onion skin or ghost a control rather than the geometry itself. It's a bit easier on the program, and there's more reasons why, but that's a simple explanation. Now, with the linear ghost control selected, go out to the channels box, and we're going to rotate that on X 90 degrees. So on the rotation X, click on it, type 90, and then hit return or enter. If you can't see what happened, I'm going to click on my geometry in the outliner and click H. So now you can see that these NURB curves, this one's rotated. Click on H again, H just hides things in the outliner. Now, before we go into the layers, we're going to click, drag, and select everything. In the channels box, we're going to click and drag on translate all the way down to visibility. Right click, freeze all. We want to freeze all so that this is the default position. So if you go back to the linear ghost control, remember how we rotated it 90 degrees? Well, we froze it, so now this is the default position, which is very important for animation. If you ever mess up and you need to just select everything and put it all back to 0, now it should be in the correct position. We need to do one more thing. I'm going to go to Edit, Delete All by Type, History. Okay, I'll show that again. Edit, Delete All by Type, History. This is with everything selected. This just helps clean up what we've done, make it more official. And finally, let's go to layers. So let's select the sphere geometry and the ghost control. Let's go over to layers. And because we already have those two selected, we go to this button right here. It has like a little circle and a square in it. Create a new layer from assigned selected objects. We're going to double click to rename. I want to rename this to linear underscore. If it makes more sense to you, you could also say red, but I'm going to say linear for now. Linear underscore no underscore touch, because we do not want to touch this. I'm going to right click, say reference, and I'm going to color this red. And then I'm going to go back to the outliner. I'm going to grab the main control. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to make a new layer, just like I showed you. So new layer from selected. I'm going to double click on that. Retype this in as linear underscore main or sphere. Let's do sphere. Why not? If I can spell it. And then let's do layer. So linear underscore sphere underscore layer, because this will hide everything. I'll show you how in a bit. When I set that to red, make sure this display type is normal and hit save. Okay, now let's do a simple parenting the system in the outliner. So our layers are set. So now in the viewport, I cannot touch the main geometry or the ghost control, but I can move the main control, but the ball and the ghost control are not attached to it. So this is how we're going to attach it and move everything together. In the outliner, you're going to hold down the linear sphere geo, and then you're going to click on the middle mouse. So that little wheel button, you're going to middle mouse click, drag over the main control. You can see how it's over the main control with the dotted lines in the outliner. I'm going to let go, and now it's under the main control. So now, when I select the main control, you can see the ball moves with it. Now I still need to add the ghost control. So let's do the same thing. Let's click on the linear ghost control. I'm going to middle mouse click, drag on top of the main control. You can tell that I'm doing that with the dotted lines in the outliner, and let go. So now everything is under the main control. When I try to grab the ball, it's actually only grabbing the main control. And when I translate it, you can see that only the main control is actually moving. You can see that in the channels box to the side. So if I open this up by clicking on this plus button to show me the other two objects that are underneath the main control, you can see that the sphere geo has not moved, and same with the ghost control. They both have not moved, which is awesome. So going back to main control, I'm going to set that back to 0. So translate X, set it back to 0, or you can just do a simple Command Z to undo. Okay, so our ball is all set up. Go to the layers. Again, no touch. I can't touch the ghost control or the geo. And for the linear sphere layer, this is the main control, which has everything underneath it. So now if I click on V, it'll hide everything. Now, I'm going to do one more ball with you, and then it's up to you to finish the rest. So in our layers panel, let's click on V. So now we hid the linear sphere layer, which is everything. We're going to go back to poly modeling, and we're going to add 3 more balls. So 1, 2, 3. In the outliner, we're going to select sphere 3 and click H. Same with sphere 2, H. I want to hide those for now. You can get to those later. Now sphere 1, let's double click it, and let's rename it ease underscore in. If you hear meowing in the background, it is my kitty cat. He likes to meow. So ease in underscore sphere underscore geo. Let's name the other 2 spheres, even though we're not using them right away. So sphere number 2 will be ease underscore out underscore sphere underscore geo. And the final one will be ease underscore in underscore out underscore sphere underscore geo. You might wonder, why are we doing so many names? This is so we can stay organized and we can tell immediately the difference between a control and geometry and exactly what type of geometry this is. In later lessons, if this is a base to the robot or some type of base to a vehicle, you want to be very clear on what it is. If this is a wheel, or if this is like a rim of a wheel, or the tire. So that's why these naming conventions are very useful. But anywho, let's color this sphere the ease in sphere geo to make it look pretty, just like the last sphere. So again, we can do that by going to Windows, go to Render Editor, Render Editor, Hypershade. I want to make this big, just so you guys can see a bit clearer. And you want to go to these nodes that you made before. If you don't see them, you can just click and make another ramp shader by searching ramp. But these are already made. This is a little easier. So select red outer shader, Command D to duplicate. And then click and drag to move. You want to connect this material to the shader. So out color, click and drag to surface shader. Now you want to change this red color to another color. I'm going to say blue. And then down in the color tab, you want to click on the dark red. You want to click on that selected color. And I'm going to click on blue. I'm going to go down here to make it a little darker. Click on the normal red color. Click on blue. And I got my sample. Sweet. Easy. Click on the new ball. Right click. Go all the way down to assign existing material. And I should have that blue outer shader. So once you're hovering over it, let go of your mouse. Boom. It is colored. Look at that. Now, again, to get that nice stripe, when I click on the ball, we're going to right click and then hover over face. This will be in face mode. And let's find that middle line. So it's these two lines. So click, hold down Shift, go to the left, double click, bottom right, click, to the left, double click, and I'm still holding down Shift. Okay, I let go. I right click, go down to assign existing material, and let's do that white inner shader. White inner shader. And finally, right click, hold, go down to object mode. So now it's not in face mode anymore. Okay, so now we have a nice blue ball. Next up, we want to add these controls just like the red ball. So we're going to go to curves and surfaces. We're going to create two of these. So 1, 2. We're going to rename the first one ease underscore in underscore main underscore CTRL control. I'm going to name the second one ease underscore in underscore ghost underscore CTRL for control. And don't forget, just like before, our ghost control, I'm going to go to the channels box to the right side, go to rotate X and change that to 90 degrees. Okay, change that to 90 degrees. And let's also start doing this layer process. So with the ease in sphere geo, hold down the command key. And this will allow you to collect or click on different items in the outliner. So if you hold down Shift, it'll hold down or it'll select everything that's in between. We don't want that. We just want to select the sphere geo and the ghost control. So hold down Command, click. See how they're both highlighted? We're going to go to the Layers panel now. Click on that button to create new layer from selected objects. Double click on it. We call this ease underscore in underscore no underscore touch. So we do not want to touch those items. I'm going to set that display type to reference, and because it's the blue ball, I'm going to set the color to blue. Same thing with the main control. So I selected the main control over here in the outliner. I go to my layers panel, click on that button again, double click, ease underscore in underscore, let's say sphere underscore layer. Display type is normal, and I want to make that blue. Just a cool little extra thing. By changing the color over here, if you look at the NURBS control, NURBS curve, the main control, it'll change the color on that control. So if it's blue on the layer, it'll be blue on the control. If it's red, see how it changes red? I think that's pretty cool. Helps me stay organized and all that jazz. Now, let's do that simple parenting again. So we go to the sphere geo, middle mouse click and drag over the main control. We click on the ghost control, middle mouse click, drag over the main control. So now everything is under the main control. Finally, with this open, make sure all are selected. This time I held down Shift. We go to the channel box, click Translate X, drag until it's visibility. Right click, let's freeze all. So right click, freeze all. And let's clear out the history again by going to Edit, Delete, All Type, or delete all by type, and then click History. So just like the first ball, the red ball, it's nice and clean. Everything is ready to go for animation. So the next part, you would hide the blue ball in your layers using the V. And then in the outliner, you go to one of the hidden geometries, click on H, and do the next one. Okay? So you are responsible for ease out sphere geo and ease in and out sphere geo. I want you to use 2 different colors. So in total, we should have 4 colors. Right now we have red, blue. You can pick the next 2. And don't forget to save. So I want to go to File, Save Scene. We already saved it as Lesson 1 modeling. So now all we have to do is just save the scene. So save scene. And just to make sure, I'm going to click on my folder over here, go to scenes, and you can see that both files are there. So I got my setup and I got my modeling. So yeah, I'll end this video and let you get to the other 2 balls in the next video. We're going to start animation. So it'll be pretty fun. Have fun.